Inside at any time. Tammy, can you hear us?
I can.
Yay! Okay, very good. Are you seeing the slide?
No.
What are you seeing?
Nothing.
I haven't shared. Okay, that's because I haven't shared my screen yet. And how do we do that?
You hit share.
Where's the share button?
Okay.
It's to the right of your
I
camera
see it.
mic.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Now I
see a
share.
slide.
Yay. Okay, we'll start entering into the lobby. We never figured out how to get that ding dong off when people enter the lobby, huh?
Maybe. Go to more. Audio settings. Go to that audio settings. Go back to more.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's about 12:57. We'll be starting in about 3 or 4 minutes. I tell you what, everyone, let's go ahead and do an audio check. If you can hear my voice right now, go ahead and give me a reaction or raise your hand. Those little icons are on the top of the bar on your screen. Here, okay, very good. Look at you guys raising your hands. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Debbie from Louisiana Department of Education, Child and Adult Care Food Program. Thank you for joining us this month for our monthly education. We decided that we're going to do something a little bit fun for today. We are going to be working in KidKare and doing a live demo for you guys. I have Rachel on with me today. Tammy is on, Tammy Bloyd. And we also have Michelle Bueller from our office. She is on as well. So we're here to help you. And we just want to go through KidKare, answer all of your questions if possible, and really show some of you guys, because a lot of you guys are new, some of the functionality of KidKare, and just give you a little bit of a refresher on KidKare. So one thing that we want to ask for you guys today is your participation. Your participation is going to drive this presentation today. We want you to hit us up in the Q&A box. And we want to make sure that we answer all of your questions, that we step you through the process on KidKare live right in front of you, to where we answer all of your questions, and we make things a little bit easier for you and more efficient, because this really is a great program. And all of the centers that we go to now are very, very happy and in using this program now, and it has really saved them a lot of time. So we want to make sure that we keep that going forward. So welcome in. Everyone is muted. Just again, real quick, enter your questions into the Q&A, not the chat. We do have the chat function disabled, so you won't be able to utilize that, but put it into the Q&A area, and we will be able to we will all be able to see your questions and answer questions from the Q&A. As always, we begin all of our presentations with our non-discrimination statements, and this again is going to look familiar to you all because you have it hanging in your facilities. We are an equal opportunity provider, employer, and lender if that comes into play. We will end this presentation today after our live presentation, again with more questions. This is how you reach us, but I will stop sharing my screen now and turn this over to Tammy.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have built just a little bit of data into our test account just to show some examples. I'm going to breeze through some of it because I know that y'all are familiar enough with it. I'm going to show some examples of correct errors, as well as errors that should be fixed, errors that should not be fixed, and explain what some of them actually mean, because I think some of y'all are working too hard to clear errors from your claim that don't necessarily need to be cleared. You can absolutely submit a claim to us with errors. I've created a couple of scenarios here, but if you have anything you specifically want me to cover, then please put something in the Q&A. If I have the data there, I will absolutely cover it. If I can build the data quickly, I will recreate it for you and we'll talk about it. All right, can everybody see the KidKare screen?
Everyone should be seeing the KidKare screen. Oh, we have a thumbs up on your screen.
Yeah, we have a few.
Very good.
Okay, so once you've calculated or processed your claim, this page should look familiar. It's your list of errors. For those that are not aware, you can come up to Claim Actions on the screen and Print Claim Report. It's going to download a report for you that you can open on your screen, and it's going to be the full thing. So rather than going back and forth from this screen into wherever you want to verify the data, you can just keep it open in another tab. All the errors are going to be here with all their instructions. I also want to break down how to actually read the claim error. So we're going to focus on this one. The child claimed after the child was withdrawn. It tells you the name of the child that's affected, what days the child was claimed, and for what meals. So that's what this is. This is January 1st, lunch and PM snack. It lists everything that's relevant. So if you can understand the error but can't find where it's getting it from, it's going to be in this extended version, which you can get by either clicking on here or you can print that report and just keep it handy. So it'll list the name of the child, the date, and the meals. And the meals are abbreviated with the LPs and the Bs for breakfast. Since we're talking about this one, let's go ahead. These children were actually withdrawn from care. They've left the center, but I did not withdraw them early enough. They were still left on there, and this is why it's important to maintain those records and update the children's enrollment, because if they're actually not in the center, but they're still on the screen, they can easily accidentally be tapped as eating. And then KidKare is going to claim them when they probably shouldn't. Okay, Debbie, do I not have access to the Q&A? Because I keep seeing stuff pop up on the screen, but it's not showing.
In the chat.
It's on the chat.
Okay.
For some reason,
School
the
year
chat got
2024.
activated.
All right, so I am going to assume that if you're only seeing 2024 in your claims, that you are going to need, is it a multi-site center? So if you have more than one location and you go into claims for processing and submitting claims, then you're going to actually move to advanced claim month and bump it up to the month you want to actually be playing in. If you are a single site center, then there's at the top of the screen on claims, there's a way to filter. And I think there's 2 places there. On your list claims page, you might have an actual month selected here, so it's not going to show you anything else. So you can just come to this drop down and press clear. It'll default to all months, and then go should give you the full list. If you're looking for a specific list, if that claim has been processed, then you can select the month of it, and it'll just show you that one. Did that help? Okay. All right, so back into the claim. I'll go back to my report. So since I hadn't removed them early enough, they were included on that claim, but they should not be included on that claim. I'm not going to go back into the attendance and the meal counts and everything else and undo all of those clicks. Accidental clicks happen, incorrect clicks happen. That's fine. KidKare caught it. KidKare is saying, hey, we're not claiming these meals. That is correct. So you can leave it there, let it go, no problem. The meals aren't being claimed. The children are no longer enrolled. You have no issues moving forward. A very common one we see is the menu recorded, but no children in attendance. This typically happens with infants or on holidays. So you're just copy and pasting your menu forward from month to month. And April 3rd is Good Friday, so it's a holiday. But when you copied your 4-week cycle forward, it filled in meals on that Friday. That's okay. You'll see here, it will say what age groups. It'll probably say all, or it will say 6 to 11 month and 2 and older, and it will list the date as April 3rd and then list all the meals. It is a correct error. You do not need to go back to April 3rd and delete that menu. It's fine. We also see it really frequently with infants because a lot of you do not have a whole bunch of 0 to 5 month olds. So that's a very common error you're used to seeing on there. Again, you don't have to go in and delete the menu for those days. You can leave it here. This is just a heads up because if you do have infants, but they're not there every day, you may just want to double check the dates and make sure, okay, no, they really weren't here. Because if they were there, you want to go back and through the files and pull up their menus for that day and see what the children were eating so you can mark it. The child is older than the center's license allows. We're going to actually go look at this one. We have Tweety Bird and pepperoni pizza. So Tweety Bird has a date of birth of 1999. Chances are very good that somebody was just happy when they were enrolling the child because that's actually supposed to be 2019. Also, can I do it from here? The license type, there is an age range up here. We see it a lot in Head Starts where you really only have children enrolled from like 3 to 5. But occasionally you get somebody in who's 2 years and 11 months, or they're still there at 5 years and 2 months because of the way the school year falls versus their birth date. You can edit this information. I can't do it on this screen because I'm in a multi-site, but you'll have an edit button up here and you can change this. Especially for the Head Starts, we do recommend that you come down to the 2 years and extend it to the 6 years just so that those kids with the few extra months, this does not necessarily have to match your physical license. The other side of that is this program is only birth through 12. Once they turn 13, they are no longer eligible to be claimed. So regardless of how old you are accepting the children, 12 should be your cutoff unless you're an at-risk program or if you have IEPs for those children, and do make sure you actually have the IEPs on file. Otherwise, even if your license goes up to 16 or 18 and you're not an at-risk program, go ahead and knock your license down to 12 just to cover you and make sure that you're not claiming the others. And then pepperoni pizza was our other one. Alphabets. Now that is correct. This child is, I can't do the math, 16, 14. So he is over the claiming age, but he is still coming. It's not a problem if you're still clicking his name, he still shows up and he's showing under the menu counts. That is not a big deal. KidKare is automatically going to eliminate him from being claimed. So that takes care of those errors. Any questions on ages, enrollment, licenses? Okay, but you can't claim children who are 14 years old, so you need to lower the KidKare license back down to 12. Once they turn 13, they are not eligible for this program. All right, so a child was served after the enrollment expiration was reached. I'm sure most of you have seen this one, but this is not an automatic fix. So blue and yellow minion. I guess I can do it from here. So yellow minion and her, I'm in a multi-site. Am I spelling it wrong? Debbie, help, I lost my child.
Well, that's not good.
I
You're not supposed to
know.
lose a child. There you go.
I wasn't finding her. Okay, we'll start with blue. So under the CACFP tab is where it looks for that IEF expiration. I'm going to go ahead and explain this for the newer ones. We have one piece of paper for the enrollment form and the income eligibility. That's your regular free and reduced price meal application. KidKare actually splits that into two. So when you're first entering the child, it's asking for the enrollment date. That enrollment date is the day you signed that free and reduced price income form, or the day that the enrollment form was signed by you. That's the enrollment date of the child. Also, if you're not a Head Start or at risk, there's an IEF. That's the income eligibility. This date does not update automatically. So when that child renews their enrollment, you have to update the expiration date. Now, the expiration date is going to be the same as the enrollment expiration date. This child actually expired over a year ago, and I don't have a new form on her. So she shouldn't be claimed because I haven't gotten the form from the parent back. So I'm not going to fix anything here. I'm just going to pull out a piece of paper and give it to mom when she shows up this afternoon and ask her to please fill it out and return it. There's nothing to fix. This information has to match the paper forms that you have on file. You cannot just come in here and correct this and not have the paperwork to back it up. If I did have the updated enrollment form and she just got missed all those months ago, then I would come in here and put in that she was actually re-enrolled. We're never going to mess with the original enrollment date. So the enrollment date, the latest one was actually December of 2025. I'm going to hit save there. And then we can update. Oh, it did automatically update. They changed stuff. Look at them. I'm not going to guarantee that everybody's expiration date for the IEF will update in tandem. So make sure you're double checking them. All right, so child was claimed in a meal that's not approved. That's also found here. Under the CACFP tab is where you select the meals. We don't actually serve AM snack anymore, so I'm going to take that one off. But he is checked for lunch, PM snack, and breakfast, so that's cool. This part right here, your schedule for the children and the meals selected, does not necessarily have to match that enrollment form, because mom may very well intend that he's only going to be here on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and he's not going to get here before 10 o'clock in the morning, so he's only available for lunch and snack. That's fine. That's what that paper enrollment form says. In reality, one Thursday morning at 8 o'clock, mom is going to get so frustrated, she's going to call you, hey, I can bring him in today, right? Of course you can. We have the space. Bring him in. Well, now he's present for breakfast. You can click him, but it's not going to allow you to claim him. So we do suggest that every child that's enrolled in your center have an availability, the full Monday through Friday, whatever your hours are, and all the meals that you're claiming, just to avoid that situation, because you don't want to lose the money just because of what mom put on the paper. Same with the day of the week. You would just adjust the schedule up here. And then after IEF expired, we covered. And here's the trick with this one. That's January. Where's January? On this screen, and I know that most of KidKare's warnings tell you that only the orange is taking away money, you can ignore the blue. That's not entirely true, because the child claimed after IEF expired, you're technically losing money. If that child is eligible for free or reduced pricing, it's getting reimbursed at the paid rate. So you do want to go in and fix that if you have the free and reduced price form updated. If you don't, then it's just your reminder to nag mom some more and get that paper back from her. Okay. We can go into quantities. So this is going to be your daily records. how you're maintaining, how much food was served. And then we'll get into the milk audit. If there are any other topics y'all would like to see covered, please let us know. I will include as much as I can. So for quantities of food recorded, you can see it's telling you it's the vegetable or fruit component for the non-infants on January 1st at breakfast. So we'll go look at that one first. You come to your daily menu, go to the date that it mentioned. And for breakfast, yes, we have something that KidKare doesn't recognize. It was mixed fruits, fresh, so we just threw down apples and oranges and let the kids pick the ones they wanted. Not a problem. But it doesn't know how to convert 40 pieces of mixed fruit to the cups that it's looking for. The amount required is always going to tell you how much what it's looking for. So it's looking for cups for fruit. And 40 pieces of apples is very different than 40 pieces of oranges as far as the cup distribution. So you can't do that. You're going to have actually done the math and figured out that the 20 apples was, I forget how much now, 18, I think, cups, and the 20 oranges was closer to 16 cups. And then you will just put in the 36 cups that was available for the children. That's the other side of this. You're not worried about how much they actually ate. You're recording how much you had available, what you were planning and prepared to serve for the day. So just because the kids only ate 15 apples and 15 oranges, you're counting everything. You prepared 36. E-forms are not mandated. You can absolutely still use the paper enrollment forms. If you are playing with the e-forms for enrollment in KidKare, all I can say is pay real close attention. Because if that has not completed every step of the entire process, those children are not technically enrolled. KidKare may or may not actually give you warnings about them, so you may not realize you're losing money. There are reports and e-forms. Oh, we don't have very many. It's very hard for us to play with them. But you can check, it's the view status report. That's the one you always want to go through. And you want to see renewed. That is the final step. But if you are comfortable with the paper forms, that is still perfectly acceptable. We are not mandating e-forms at this time. We were on January 1st, but I think we cleared that error. Okay, it also says on the 5th for lunch. So we will hop over to January 5th. And I see a problem with, we'll come back to that. January 5th for lunch. It's the same thing. We have 5 cups. It's looking for 5 cups of honeydew. We recorded that we served 3 honeydews. So 3 pieces of honeydew is actually equal to 12 pounds. And I think we can record it that way. Yes, it's no longer red. So it's gotten better about converting the volume to the weight for us. But if it's red and you know that's actually what you served, then find another way to enter it. Do not just match, oh, well, it's looking for 5.5 cups, so I served 6 cups and we're just going to call it that. Please don't do that. Record how much you actually served. It does you no favors to let KidKare determine the numbers, and then we see in your receipts that you either didn't purchase as much as you said as you served, or you purchased a heck of a lot more than you said you served, and we're going, well, where's the rest of it? Did somebody take it home? Is it still on the shelf? You're accountable for the food that you record. So if you actually served 3 honeydew melons and they're about 4 pounds apiece, you record 12 pounds of honeydew. You do not record 6 cups of honeydew. And then on the 6th for lunch, we have a lot of issues in this one. So the CN chicken tenders, we recorded 45 ounces because we served 45 nuggets. Well, that's not correct. Your CN label is going to break it down for you and tell you that each nugget has 2 ounces of meat. So 45 nuggets, in fact, is 90 ounces of chicken. And you do have to actually use the CN label for your product. Don't just keep changing the number until KidKare is not read anymore. Broccoli. We served 3 packages of frozen broccoli. Well, KidKare doesn't know how big that package was. So you need to go back through your kitchen or your receipts and determine that you had 60-ounce packages of broccoli and you had 3 of them. So that is 180 ounces of broccoli rather than 3 packages. The milk is going to be very separate. All right. That's all the ones that are listed here, which is weird. I probably changed some of this information after I processed the claim. So we're going to come back. Well, we're on this date, so we'll start here. This is all milk. So we had 48 children in attendance. It does break down the ages for us. And it tells us it's looking for 40 cups of milk to have been served for breakfast today. Well, we served 46, so what's the problem? In order to get into the details, you're going to have to hover over the little light bulbs here, and they'll tell you exactly. In this case, we had 25 cups of skim, no whole milk, almost 8 cups of substitute milk, and 6.5 cups of parent-provided milk. That is what KidKare is looking for us to have served, based on the children that were clicked as eating. Well, we recorded 7 cups of parent-provided and 8 cups of substitute. We also recorded a bunch of whole milk in here. But the issue is there were no 1-year-olds present. So that means whoever the cook or the server was that day served whole milk when they should not have. We're not going to adjust that whole milk number because that's probably correct. She probably actually served it. It would be very odd for her to just enter whole milk if she wasn't serving it. That is a correct error. You cannot claim those meals that you served the 6 cups of whole milk to. So we're going to leave that alone. However, the substitute milk and the parent-provided milk, those numbers are off. Chances are very good that either you have children who are marked for substitute milk who are just drinking your regular 1%, or you have children marked for parent-provided milk who are actually on substitute milk that you are providing. So with those, I would go back and double check the enrollment, the children's pages, and make sure that they are marked correctly under the allergies and conditions tab. So see, Miss Deborah here, she's absolutely a substitute milk drinker, but she's not marked in here. So we're going to have to turn her on. She requires a milk substitution, and it is substitute milk. Mom's not bringing that in, we are. We're going to go ahead and give her the start date of the beginning of March because January and February are already done. We've already done those claims, so we're not going to worry about that. And then the expiration date, you want to delete out of here. KidKare is supposed to change that so it doesn't automatically default on this, because the expiration date, if you put in that expiration date, that's for when she switches from substitute to mom brought it in. So you're going to put an expiration date in here. So on 3/26, mom quit bringing in the substitute milk, and we switched to parent provided. And then when she stops bringing in the parent provided, you'll hit the expiration date there. So if this has an expiration date and we're truly still serving that substitute milk that we purchased, good Lord, then you want to make sure you get rid of that expiration date. Otherwise, KidKare is not looking for the substitute milk. It's looking for your regular 1%, and that's going to throw off those counts in that light bulb. Daily menu. Okay, let's go to January 5th. Raspberries, we served 8 cups, and KidKare said that wasn't enough. But here's the thing, I know I bought tons of raspberries for breakfast that day, so I'm going to go back and ask the cook how she got that 8 cups. And she says, well, there were 8 little containers. Oh, okay, she just assumed that a container was a cup. That was actually 20-ounce containers for the raspberries. It wasn't a cup. It was 20 ounces. So we're going to record 160 ounces instead of 8 cups because that was what was actually prepared for the meal. Again, we're not just going to look at KidKare and say, oh, it wants 12 cups. I'm just going to record 12 cups. Please don't do that. Figure out how much food you are actually serving. And then back here on the milk again, that's going to be the same issue with the substitute. PM snack. So we have savory crackers and fruit juice. And here's the issue. When we see it matched like that, it's just very obvious that you didn't count how much you actually served. You have options here. You know that based on the number of kids you have, you served 2 boxes of wheat thins. Go pick up a box of wheat thins and look at how much it was. I have written down that 566 grams is a box of wheat thins. So we did 2 of those real quick, probably bad math. I'm going to go with 1136, and I know that's wrong. I think it's 26. It's probably 36. You can do better math than me. And then that will tell you that. Or you caught it the same day, you saw it was red before you went home, so you go back in the kitchen and ask her, hey, how much of those wheat thins did you actually use? And she tells you, oh, it was 3.5 boxes. It was 1.5 boxes. Well, you pick up the box and it's a 300-ounce box instead of grams. They don't have the grams listed on there. So if it was 1.5, then 300 ounces is going to be 450 for 1.5. You're going to change the grams back over to ounces. Record how much you're actually serving, please. Do not match the numbers in KidKare. We covered the broccoli. One more example for this. So for breakfast today, we have liquid eggs with a tortilla and salsa. Obviously, we were serving burritos. That's great. Here's the problem. KidKare wants you to have served 15.75, that's almost 16 cups of salsa on probably 34 burritos. You did not put half a cup of salsa on every burrito. You probably put between a half a teaspoon and a half a tablespoon. So this 2.5 cups is probably closer to accurate than the 16 it's looking for. So this is actually a non-compliant breakfast because you do not have a fruit component. You can absolutely serve salsa on the burritos. Chances are it is not your fruit component for the morning. So this would be considered an extra. So unless you served applesauce or peaches or something like that with your burritos, this is a non-compliant meal. Please do not tell us that you serve 16 cups of salsa to 34 children. We know better. So we're going to leave that error there and allow KidKare to disallow that meal. Any other questions on recording amounts, problems you've run into, specific products that are giving you trouble? I'm going to move on. So now we're going to play with the milk audit. So when you come look at your milk audit at a glance, you want to make sure you have calculated and actual selected. Also show daily calendar. This is a great tool for a couple of reasons. I'm going to leave it on skim milk because that's usually got the most information. If there's blue, the blue number that's shown on this calendar down here is what KidKare says you should have served this day based on your attendance. So if you're looking at this calendar and there's no blue line, nobody recorded attendance. So you know we have missing information on that day. If it wasn't a holiday, you weren't closed for some reason, you know you're missing information. The orange line is how much you said you actually served. So if you're looking at the calendar and there's no orange line, that means nobody put the meal information in either. Sometimes you'll see the blue without the orange, sometimes vice versa. Either way, you're missing data. The green that shows up on the screen is going to be a receipt. So if you scroll the calendar and you don't see any green, you know you haven't entered receipts yet, or at least nothing with milk on it. And that's going to be its own issue. So at a glance, this is how you can read that milk audit. The only other emblem you should be seeing on a regular basis is going to be, well, you shouldn't see, but you might see, is this little red triangle that says milk shortage. And this is not saying that you did not serve enough milk. It doesn't actually show you that on this page. You have to go into the claim error report or into the daily menu to see the numbers are red. This milk shortage is telling you, hey, you said that you served 6.56 gallons of milk today, 0.656, and you served 0.609. So that's almost 1.5 gallons of milk on these 2 days. But you didn't have that much milk available. And it's getting that information from your starting balance. So your previous month carryover balance is top row up here. This is something that you are responsible for updating every month. It's based on your ending inventory for the previous month, how much milk you actually have on hand. You come to this screen and you are going to change it. So this says, well, we started the month with a gallon of substitute milk. But that's funny because we have 3 different kinds of substitute milk. How did we have an even gallon? Somebody really just wasn't paying attention when they put this information in. So what we're going to do is go back to our inventory sheet and we're going to see that we actually had 2.5 quarts of one of the substitutes, 2.25 half gallons of another one, and 154 ounces in one of those big jugs that they give us that they don't break down evenly for us. Well, now how do I record that? Because if I come here, it still wants me to tell it how many gallons. This is the only place in KidKare that you have to do the conversion yourself, but I'm going to show you an easier way to do it. You're going to come down to here, grab your receipt or your purchase item, put it on a day. Doesn't matter what day, you are not going to save this. It's going to open up. You come down here. We're going to go ahead and, so all total for the substitute milk, we had 2.5 quarts. So 2.5 in the quarts. We had 2 quarter of the half gallons, so 2.25, and 154 ounces in that big jug. So that's how much we had. And it converts it for you. It tells you right here, total gallons was 2.95. Go ahead and cancel this. You are not saving this. Close your receipt. See, it went away. It's not there. You didn't mess up your records. And our number was 2.95. Green check mark to save. That's how much we actually started the month with. And this will update in real time for you. So there's no milk shortage triangle here anymore. So that's correct. Now, if you do not have your inventory sheet, or what was written on the inventory sheet really was just 1 gallon, then you're stuck with it. That's a shortage. And even though you know you probably had the milk there, if you can't prove it, if it's not written down, it did not happen. So always make sure that these numbers are matching your inventory and somebody is actually getting an accurate inventory. So every month, the end of the last month, at the end of the month, somebody's going to do your inventory, count all your food, count your milk. You're going to come in on the first of every month and you're going to edit these to make sure that they match what's in your inventory count. Because we did not have 8 gallons. We only had 5 gallons. We'll go 5.5. So those numbers are going to get off from month to month. Same thing if you're ordering the half pints and they counted that you had 3 cases of half pints. You're just going to come down. Half pints, 3 cases is what, 150? And it's going to tell you that's 9.37. So that will be the number that you're starting with. Any questions on the milk audit? Debbie or Rachel, anything else you want to cover? Because I'm out of stuff now.
Very good, very good. Can you do us a favor and go back to that error report and hit recalculate to see which errors are still there, and just to show them that you do have to click recalculate?
Okay. For the independent single sites, it's going to be just a recalculate button on your claim. I'm in a multi-site account, so I'm going to have to reprocess. Oh, I did that wrong though. That's okay. And we didn't actually clear a lot of the errors, so most of it's still going to be there. Claims. Yeah, it's not going to look that different because I didn't clear that much of it. The quantity of food prepared, we did clear some of that. It's all milk now. We didn't fix the fruit veggie on the 7th. Remember, that was the salsa. But all those other ones are gone, the broccoli and the honeydew. We didn't fix our withdrawn children because they really were withdrawn. Where's the new report? There it is. So originally, disallowed was $746, and now disallowed. Nope, this is the original. So for those few errors, we went from $882 disallowed in the claim to $746. So that's a little over 120 bucks, 140. How did I get to what page? Which page? If you were I'm in a multi-site account, so it's going to look a little bit different than the individuals. But for the claim page, in an individual site, oh, I have a reprocess button. I don't trust it because I've never used it in this account. This page. So it's under claims and list claims. And then you click into, you can click into the claim here. I think you have 2 links in an indie site. There'll be a claim number over here that you can click, as well as you can click into the month. And that will bring you to this page where it was going to list all your errors for you. And you can either come through and open these individually to see more detail, or you can do this office error report under claim actions, and it'll print you up this all in one. Okay, Miss Francesca, I'm going to need you to call one of us after this meeting because I can't, I'd have to see what your account's doing. Anything else we want to talk about? From claims to milk to daily records, attendance, questions, concerns, problems, something in the Q&A.
Okay, guys, here's your shot. You got a lot of us on here, and we got the live screen up in front of you. If there's anything that sort of trips you up or anything that we can clarify, please let us know.
Yeah, the milk as far as substitute versus whole versus parent provided and all that thing under reports and children. Nope. Maybe I have to be. There is a report for special diets. It may just be that it's child allergy and special diet report. And you can run this if you're a multi-site per center. And Ms. Franklin, you can just type in to the chat your question. I am going to go ahead and put my number in. 3. And in case I'm on the phone, I'm going to put Miss Debbie's number in too. Miss Debbie, I don't know, 3680?
Yes.
That's too much to type. All right. But anyway, this report here is going to tell you which children are actually marked for a special diet, and if they're, I think it even breaks it down to parent provided and substitute. It may not, but it'll at least give you a quick idea. So you can look down this report and you can see, oh, Mikey here he isn't listed as substitute milk. He's on regular milk. So you know that's wrong. You know you can go into them, or you can pick the children who are listed under substitute or not regular milk that have the special diet for milk and target those to verify whether it's parent provided or substitute and if they're in there correctly. And if there are expiration dates that should not be there, that's going to trip up a lot of it. So use that report. It's under children and then child allergy and special diet. And that'll give you the list of kids you can target on. And put multi-days into the daily menu. You can only record the daily menu one a day at a time. Are you asking about prepping the menus ahead of time or actually entering the daily information?
You might be talking about copying the menus forward for
I think
multi-days.
so.
Okay.
Entering the daily. You can only enter the daily one day at a time. So if you go in to how much was served for breakfast, lunch, and PM snack on a single day, You're talking about recording the amount served or picking the actual menu? Okay, the 4 weeks at a time, that's going to be under your calendar. And it can be a little bit tricky. So either pay real close attention when you're doing it, or call one of us and have us help you walk through the first time. We're going to do infants just because there's more data there and it usually goes quicker. So you get into the menu that you want to copy over. You have to already have it in there. So I am on a 5-week cycle because I always have that extra weekend just to catch the end of the month or the beginning. So my 4-week cycle, my cycle starts on this day, the first time around. This is my week 1 Monday. And I want to copy 4 weeks forward. So we got January 5th. You're going to hit your copy menus button. If you're doing multi-day, and then make sure you're on the correct menu. We're going to leave it on infants for now because that's what we're doing. But typically your infant is a set menu, and if you want, we can go over that. So your non-infants is where you're going to be. We're starting on January 5th. And then we're going to copy the full 4 weeks. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to January 30th. And we are going to begin pasting on March 1st. Make sure skip weekend says yes. Hit continue. Yes, I really am sure. So you're going to tell it what days you want to copy. That's the multi-day selection. And when you want it to start. And then determine if it's infants and non-infants or just one group or the other. And then when it's all done, February, skippy skip. There it is. So now it's all pasted in there. Is that what you were looking for? Does anybody want to see that again? Because if you mess up those dates, you mess up your calendar. You also want to make sure that what you're copying forward is what you really want to copy forward. Because what happened is on January, pick a day, 13 will say, we actually served peaches and not the pears that were listed. If you copy this forward, then when you get into March, whatever day lines up with that day, it's going to have the pears because that's what you have in there. And that's fine. You can change it in real time on the day. But if you've made a whole bunch of changes to your calendar throughout the month, you may want to actually go back and build this manually to get back into your cycle menu. All right.
Okay, guys, we are wrapping up here. It's about 1:55. We have 5 minutes left of our meeting.
All right, they got stuff in Q&A now too, so I can't keep up with both.
It's okay, we gotcha.
All right, the e-forms view status is going to be where you're going to see most of the data that you want to see for the e-forms. You can do it by center. I would do, there's a way to do this for a current year. Okay, I would suggest doing it from October 1st of the current year. So for us, that's October 1, 2025 through whatever today is. We'll say it's here. and then go. And that's going to tell us everybody that's been in process for that. If you need a broader range, because you know you have some that renewed maybe over the summer before October, back this up to 24 to pull all of last year and all of this year. Hit go. I don't have any data in here for A form, so it's not going to give you very much. But it's going to break it down how many are not started, so you never even sent it to the parent. In progress, it was sent to the parent. Needs approval and submitted somewhere in here is the parent still has it. They've sent it back to you, something on those lines. I'm sorry, we really don't play with e-forms. And then sponsor approved means yes, it's been approved. This is good information for the child. All the information's there. And then renewed is that final step where the child is actually re-enrolled in the center and is being claimed for meals. So this will tell you, it will list all of the forms down here. It'll tell you whether it's an IEF form, the income eligibility, or the enrollment form, and it'll give you all the information. So you want to see that everybody is in the renewed column. If they are not, track it down, figure out what's happening. I don't think there's any in here at all. Oh. These are mostly going to be not started. Oh, we have played with a few. So it tells you the different statuses of them. You can come over here if you just need to start it over completely. You can hit that. Well, I can't because the settings on this are funny. But there's a way to cancel it, start all over the whole process. There is, for e-forms especially, I was just using that get help function that breaks you to KidKare's knowledge base. And just type in e-forms and it'll tell you. Some of these are videos, some of these are written instructions, but they do have a lot of information out there. Copy and pasting the infant menus honestly looks just like what we did with the other one. I can absolutely do it if you want, but it's going to come down to that copy menus and just pay attention to the dates you're using. If you are using the exact same infant menu, our standard easy infant menu, which I think this one is set up as. Yes. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Then you'll use copy menus. You'll take it for just a specific day. Make sure it stays on infants, a specific day. You select the day you want. They're all the same, so it shouldn't matter what day you start. How often should it repeat? Every day. You have skip weekends checked down here. You're going to start, this is done for March, so we're going to start pasting on April 30th, March 30th. And then end after. I would suggest not doing more than 60 or 90 occurrences because after that it does start taking a lot more time. Or you can tell it to end by and just pick the end of the date to, so we'll go May 31st. Just so that it gets all the way through. Skip the weekends, continue. Yes, you're really sure. And that. You can still do it. It's the same as the 4-week if you want to. It doesn't really hurt anything. Just make sure when you're copying menus forward that you're paying attention to the infant and non-infant because you may not want to copy them the same way. But in any case, you can do it with either the multi-day or the single day. The multi-day is going to be a range that you want to copy forward. The single day is just one day that you want to repeat.
Okay, Tammy, thank you very much. It is 2:00, I believe, and I don't see anything in the chat or the Q&A. So thank you all very much for joining us today. Be on the lookout for future communications about our upcoming trainings every month. I am traveling at the rest of this week and we have a holiday on Friday, so please give me until next week to have this uploaded to the fitkids.com website and for me to email out the clock hours emails for you all. So please be on the lookout for that probably by middle of next week. And thank you all very much. We're going to go ahead and end now. Have a great day.